Boys.
Take one. How you guys doing? This is episode 2 of Fables from the Holotables. We're definitely crying tears of joy because we missed you guys so much. How you guys doing? You guys want to introduce yourself?
Hi. I'm
You
Matt.
got the rosy cheeks. He looks like kind of like Santa. It's giving Santa.
I'm an expert at OBS, and I
Uh-huh.
know where the record button is.
Oh,
And
Troopers is like booking it right now. He's like, yeah, I don't know these people.
And I know how to hit the record button before we start, and not wait till 30 or 40 minutes into us starting to hit that button.
Yeah, I would.
That's
that would
nothing
help a lot.
any of us would ever do. Guys, we have an idea, and we have a lot of ideas. We haven't talked about any of them yet.
Yeah, we've had about 30 minutes about ideas so far, and we're just getting started. Believe we are just getting started.
All right, so that we can just hop back into it. The idea of today is that we are doing our dream wish list for SWGOH. Characters we want to see that maybe don't have a great chance of showing up, but we're gonna put them on the wish list anyways. We are not letting reality or CG influence us in any way. We are just full sending it to whatever we think is possible, and hopefully one of these happens at some point in the game. All right.
Okay.
With that being said,
same order, or
what do you mean same order?
Oh yeah, this is first take, right?
Let me tell you about my great idea I had, guys.
Take us away.
I think if we're talking about new characters and we're talking about characters we want to see, I want to talk about Galactic Legends first, okay? And the Galactic Legend I want, that I think is the most unrealistic and probably never going to happen, is a Anakin redeemed, a World Between Worlds Anakin. Totally original idea that you guys have never heard before.
Yeah, nope.
And I think he gets the neutral tag. You could technically give him light side, but I think some people would complain about that. So I think
he has to be the second ever neutral character next to Hondo.
Yeah.
Hondo with your win.
Yachter, I think that's a great opportunity for you to say a joke about how you pull up the unaligned or the neutral tag and you just see Anakin and then Hondo. So
yes, both at R9 because they're going to be in the same team together, obviously, right?
Obviously.
And this would sort of lead to like the most powerful entities. I have someone's, and maybe you would have like, I don't know, this might be stepping on toes a little bit too much, but someone, maybe 30 minutes ago suggested something about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit or whatever from Mortis. So Troopers, you want to go and counter that? I'm actually going to go and take up the phone real quick. What, you guys
original idea that they have never heard is the Father, the Son, and the Daughter being the ultimate neutral lights. I know. This is unheard of. The Father, the Daughter, and the Son being the ultimate light side, dark side, and neutral lifters for all factions, all based on your alignment of light, dark side, or neutral. That's what I was thinking for the Father, Son, and Daughter. But leaning into the Anakin thing, I know we didn't talk about it in the last one, but I'm just going to integrate before I forget it, is me and Matt briefly discussed during my marathon last week, capital ships and my big wish list, because there are 3 GL dark side ships. 2 GL dark side ships, and then only 1 light side GL ship. And I think my theory is going to be the Resolute by Anakin Skywalker, and we are going to get Admiral Yularen to pilot it. He is going to be the Piet for the Galactic Republic fleet, and then a possible gas ship with the Twilight, and then possibly getting Padme finally getting the ship, and it's going to be a legend heavy fleet, and I think that's how they're going to tie it a lot, and then possibly behind new relics. So what do you guys think of that?
I like that. We looked at the ships together on stream, and what we kind of noticed was, out of all of the factions that have ships being unutilized right now, Galactic Republic is at the most. Granted, it's not that many because most ships do have a home, but Galactic Republic right now doesn't really use the Jedi Consular, it doesn't really use the Rex's Arc Fighter, and it doesn't really use Clone Sergeant's Arc Fighter, and so, and I think I mentioned this on your stream of, if we get the Resolute, I think it would be cool to have that have specific synergies with the clone ships, because I think they don't want to hurt Negotiator too much. And so I think pulling Umbaran from Negotiator doesn't hurt it that much. Pulling Rex from it doesn't hurt it that much, because it's not really used that much. Pulling Clone Sergeant definitely doesn't hurt it. And then I even think you can take Marauder if you need to, as long as we get enough Galactic Republic ships that are released with the addition of it, that Negotiator has some sort of replacement for Marauder, or that Marauder can just stay with Negotiator. So you need a really strong ship that can do one of those two things.
Yeah, and some of the ships that I was bringing up was the Z90 Headhunter. That's one that we could get. 501st Pilot, it could be Oddball. That's one that we could get. Not very well known, but that it would be a great ship. And then something else that we have not gotten yet, surprisingly, is they are in space, actually, the Republic gunship, which I'm surprised we haven't gotten any of those yet recently, like transport.
I would love that, man.
Yeah,
I could definitely see it being a tank, just being super bulky.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, I think
that should have been the Marauder. Man.
There's your
I think that'd be really cool to be able to get. And then you add those two ships, and then you add a Padme ship. You have a full fleet for gas now with the Twilight. You get General Anakin Skywalker. I know R2 people are saying you're going to save him for Red 5. That's fine. Then you just put gas in that Twilight ship from Clone Wars. Gives it a true Clone Wars feel, with Admiral Yularen being the capital leader. And then there's the ultimate, I would be quite confused on. There's some options. They could do the maneuver where gas like goes out and like they flank. I don't know if you guys remember in that scene in Ryloth. I'm a Clone Wars nerd if you guys can't tell. So they basically turn the hull on upside down where the bottom's facing the enemy. And then it flanks them with Y-Wings bombing, which is sort of like General Kenobi's ultimate. Or they just crash it in like how he did before. But I think there's a lot of potential with that. And with those two new ships, and if you give gas and Padme one, that's tying it behind two legendaries. Maybe make the Padme ship a Conquest unit, like how they did with Malgus.
That would actually be pretty good. And then what if Quadme pilots that ship? But here's the thing. You can't pitch to me a Padme ship, like a Padme fleet, without the Naboo Starfighter. Just a regular yellow... And not the Mando one.
No,
I'm talking about the OG Naboo Starfighter.
I agree.
I could finally rest and die easy.
I think the starting lineup would be Rex, Twilight, and then Padme. And then your first reinforcement could be the Naboo N1 Starfighter, which would have direct synergy with Padme's, and it would be like a taunt where it would protect Padme's ship.
Like a locked taunt.
Yes.
Because if it starts up in the battle, then it's like a regular taunt. But like when it gets stronger, if it's on the reinforcements, so sort of like a comeuppance where it like kind of just boosts the fleet.
The ships where you can't target Padme's ship until that ship's taken out.
Like a Mon Mothma thing.
Yeah, a Mon Mothma thing. That's what I was thinking.
I think of all of our ideas, this is probably the most realistic.
Yeah, I know, right?
I really like the idea of the Twilight. I do wish Snips could be a pilot on the Twilight, but unfortunately Snips already has her own ship.
I do have one more ship to add to it, if I may. Commander Ahsoka Tano with Rex's Y-Wing.
Rex's Y-Wing?
Rex's Y-Wing, the one that they flew out during the final episode.
After Order 66?
Give it a Galactic Republic tab.
We saw that ship for like one scene though.
I mean,
okay, yeah. I mean, okay. Are we really gonna play that? We saw Rey for 2 seconds.
Consular Starfighter.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, true.
Like and Rey 2 seconds scene.
But like, I don't like the only animation I can imagine is just seeing it burn up in the battle and then just disappears.
Yeah, I don't think I like that one as much. I think you could definitely do something. What about? I don't know if the ship is named. I'm not knowledgeable enough on it, but perhaps our resident Clone Wars expert will know. What is the ship that Ahsoka takes when she's promoted in episodes or in season 7 when she's sent to Mandalore? Is there a name for that ship? Could Kat be a fleet commander herself?
That could not be a fleet commander because Rex was in charge of that attack because she was technically not a part of it. She was a commander. No, she was a she was under Rex's lead because Rex was promoted to commander from captain. So he was promoted to the same rank as Cody, and he was able to lead the own division because Ahsoka couldn't because she left the Jedi Order and forfeiting. So it would have to be Rex that leads it, but he already has a ship, sadly.
Okay. Well, I like the Yularen idea. I think we also talked about this on your stream, but we originally mentioned, I think, on our last episode about Nala Se being like a clone lifter. I think that if you do it that way, you could even use him in that kind of slot where, as an actual like unit, similar to what like Radis does with Rogue One, where he lifts them a bunch, that you could give him synergies with clones, and Yularen as an actual unit synergizes with clones.
I didn't ask you this last time. Would it, and now I'll let you go on with it, but would it be tied to 501st because he's connected to gas? He's literally tied to gas.
I think you can give him 501st. I think you can give him 501st. I don't think there's anything wrong with a non-clone getting that tag. I mean, Ahsoka, Snips has the 501st tag, and I think if Snips can get the 501st tag, I think Yularen can get the 501st tag. Or if you just put, while General Anakin Skywalker is in the leadership, Admiral Yularen gains the 501st tag. Like, so he doesn't actually have it, but like he gets it.
I would love to see him because him and Ahsoka grew closer as the war went on, and like he started trusting her more and stuff. I would love to see Ahsoka get a more prominent role with General Anakin Skywalker within his kit.
I just don't think you want to take Snips away from JMK.
Well, JMK lifter has to come sometime with all these anti-insta kills.
I don't think we need a JMK lifter. I mean, JMK is doing just fine.
If anything, he's on offense now. He has dropped 0 viability.
Yeah.
Like when he's bad on offense, then we'll have.
Because Cat was the JMK lifter. Like that was the first GL lifter.
Cat's not good enough to move to Padme permanently or dash permanently, so she's kind of stuck until something better shows up. Like I don't know. Man, I'm so happy that the Plokron is over because now I could actually think about good JMK lifters. I'm so sick of the AoE stuns, man. It's driving me up the walls.
Well, if anything, I want, for JMK, as far as like where he is in the meta, I want something to get Padme off that team. Because I like Padme a lot, and I wish I could run Padme teams, but I can't because I have to have her on my JMK team because of how good she is there. And if he's on offense, I can probably swing not having Padme on there, but it just makes all my counters a little less reliable.
Yeah, I see this, like, if we're going to be getting something, because then you have to get something that stops attacks out turns, mass swarms, all that, everything. And you gotta get another support, that like another cleanse, you gotta get another mass swarm to help charge the ultimate, stuff like that. And it's just hard to think of that when it goes to JMK. Because it has to be Galactic Republic.
Well, you just need them to have a very impactful ability, basically.
I think
on a long cooldown
would be cool.
And then you just have to have him continue to reset that cooldown. That's basically like the crux of JMK, is reset the cooldowns and then get to high ground so you can ignore taunt. So I don't think they can give him someone to ignore taunt before high ground because it kind of defeats a lot of the purpose of high ground. And then if you're giving somebody impactful ability, I mean, what's more impactful than an insta-kill? So like that's why I'm like, I don't know how you really help that team more than it already is helped. And it's still,
while Lifter is active, enemies are immune to instant defeat immunity. Boom. That's the only line in the kit. No abilities.
If we get immunity to instant defeat immunity, I'm quitting. I'm sorry.
And then people are gonna be immune to people being immune to instant defeat immunity.
That's the.
I love Galaxy of Heroes.
It's just gonna be it's gonna be like if the person's immune to instant defeat, immune, it's gonna be like 12 immunes. You're gonna be like, all right, to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple.
Are about to get so bad if that happens.
But here's the thing that I'm gonna round out, and then I'm gonna go into one of your topics that we did not talk about in the one that we did not record.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of potential on what they can do based on skins. Like if we could get reskin stuff. And one thing that we were talking about was the GMY one. Like how if we got like GMY, maybe we just change his animation and stuff, and then we got a new Grandmaster Yoda.
We need to explain that more because we didn't talk about it. So one of the things that we kind of mentioned was how there are some characters in the game that are just they came out too early, that their power doesn't align with where they should be based on who the character is, their notoriety, their infamy. And Grandmaster Yoda, I think, is a great example of that, where you guys are just trying to distract me. I think Grandmaster
I'm trying to like raise this without having to have the mic stand break.
I think
hey, Pikachu.
Grandmaster Yoda is a good example of that. I think Jedi Knight Luke is a good example of that. Like, these are characters that really could have been GLs if they just came out at a different time. And so I pose the question of, what if, and I don't know if I really like this idea, but what if we took a character like Yoda and we replaced the version in game with a younger version of himself, and we basically just reskinned him and just said, okay, hey, and like they came out with a dev announcement and said, hey, we have plans for a Grandmaster Yoda that we would like to be a Galactic Legend, let's say, or Journey Guide character that's above the power of the current Grandmaster Yoda in the game. However, with the current Grandmaster Yoda in the game, we don't want to just get rid of him, or we don't want to just completely nullify the people that have invested in him. So we're actually going to be replacing him with a renamed character that's a younger version of Yoda, or Jedi Knight Yoda, or whatever, after we see him in like the Acolyte or whatever. Season 2 is not happening, but High Republic, whatever. Right. High Republic Yoda, whatever you want to say. And then they release a new Grandmaster Yoda as a legendary, or I guess Grandmaster Yoda already is a legendary, but like a new and improved version of him. A real legendary.
Tier 12 minimum.
And so I don't know that I really like that idea, but anyways, that was the idea that we had kind of not talked about previously.
I have two concerns with that. One, I still like the old Mando more than the Beskar Mando.
Because you don't have Bo yet, that's why.
For like a year and a half, or I guess sometimes in some situations, depending where you are, still the old Mando is better than the Beskar Mando. Like that's
I don't know if that's true.
It's like it was for a long time though, but
it's just because of how strong insta kills are. But yeah.
Here's the second thing also, is like if you do that, then you gotta do it for other characters. And a perfect example is General Grievous. Like General Grievous should be so much better than he actually is in the game. So if you're gonna do that, then you would have to do like Clone Wars General Grievous, and then you would get a caped Episode 3 General Grievous or something like that as a legendary.
But those aren't different enough, I feel like.
But Yoda is the same. He literally looks the same over 100 years. 100 years.
Just give him different attire.
I don't like the Master Qui-Gon thing. And so that's why I'm trying to find a way that we can get around stuff like that by like, so rather than them just being like, oh, this is Grandmaster Yoda, but his hood is up. This is General Grievous, but he has a hood.
It's like Battlefront.
This is Count Dooku, but he's in his pajamas. Like, I don't want that. I want new characters, but I also don't want, like we talked about, like Kelleran Beck. Like, I love Kelleran Beck and I like Ahmed Best, but he's not the real lifter for Galactic Republic that I feel like we should have gotten, or that like Grandmaster Yoda should be leading the Galactic Republic, not Kelleran Beck. Sana Staros, Yachter brought up, shouldn't be the one that made Rolo meta. Like, Rolo should be meta. Like, Leia Organa should be meta, not Sana Staros, a comic character that, frankly, not a lot of people knew, especially not prior to her being added to the game.
But here's my one thing, and now I'll let Yachter go. And this is my one question, and it's been a thing, like, what will be the ultimate Separatist character then if we don't get a reskin character? We already have Count Dooku, who is the literal leader and face of the Separatist army. We already have General Grievous. We already have Wat Tambor. We already have Newt Gunray. We already have all the Geonosians, which I'm still hoping for a Geonosian queen, but we're not going to get into that. But no, the point is we have all the faces of the Separatists, so I guess I'll leave it to you, Yachter. What do you think, if we don't get a reskin, how are they going to lift up that Separatist faction?
If it's not Chancellor Palpatine, it's nothing. Because
Exactly.
they obviously could just be very, I don't know, because there's different ways you could do it. You could either make Chancellor Palpatine work with GR, and Separatist in the kit alone, or you could give them the tags as well, or you can make it so that if Chancellor Palpatine is a galactic legend, then how would that work? Would it be dark side and then you would search up Separatist, but he would be like blue? Or if you search up Galactic Republic, would he be red? I'm not too sure how the UI would handle that. But in terms of it being like a non-repeat character, then yes, I do think that Chancellor Palpatine is quite literally our only hope for a unique character to give the Separatist a GL identity. Other than that, nothing.
I think that like Stap was a good example of a way they could do that, where they revitalized General Grievous. And I'm actually really happy with where Stap landed in the meta. I was worried he was going to be a little too strong at first when he was countering Leia. But after his Chron expired, it seemed that wasn't as much of a thing anymore, or at all, really. And so he's just, General Grievous is back to being I would say solid A tier, maybe a high B tier, low A, high B tier team at the end of the game. And I think that's a good place for General Grievous to be. I don't think he needs to be higher than that right now.
I'm a little biased because I am a prequel diehard fan. I know all the lore. I study all that, everything. I watched all the videos. I read the books. And I just think that the Separatists are just the least appreciated faction within the game. By far. If you look at Rebels, if you look at Resistance, if you look at First Order even, if you look at Galactic Republic, those are the 6 core factions, and then Empire. If you look at all those, the Separatists have by far gotten the least amount of attention and love within the game.
Well,
and
I think Trench was supposed to address that. He was supposed to be the lifter for Separatists, and it's just that Trench fell flat and is still the worst Conquest unit to date. And so I think it's more that they should have done a better job with Trench. And so now they're at the point where they need to put a lifter for his team really at this point. And I don't know how they're going to do that. If they're going to release another Conquest character for Separatists, or I don't know what they want to do with that.
There's so much they could do. They could do rocket troopers. They could do...
I think they want to save the droids, though, to put those with General Grievous. You know what I mean?
Or why don't we have a captain of a Magna Guard? That would be cool too. The elite Magna Guard.
Well, I think Rocket Trooper's a good option. I think Kalani is a good option.
I need Kalani, dude. Kalani should have been the Iden Versio for... I mean, here's the thing. You could do an Iden Versio, get Kalani, adopt them, and Kalani, it's Kalani and the Separatist droids, and then you could bring Grievous, all of the... when Chancellor Palpatine comes out, he unites all of the Separatist leaders, right? So you have Count Dooku in one team. You take him from Trench. You get Grievous. You take him from his own team. You get Newt Gunray. Take him from Trench, and then
you take Trench.
I don't know no, I was thinking about Watambor because screw Trench, right? And then that's the Separatist leader. And then if you want to do JR, it could be I don't know, Anakin, Ahsoka, stuff like that. But I was thinking, how in Conquest we have Newt Gunray lead as with Grievous, even though Grievous has his own team in Conquest. I feel maybe that could be an interesting style that they could lead into, all of the big daddy, representatives in the Separatists. So,
and then something. I'm sorry, Matt.
No, you're good.
Did you have something else to say? I was going to move us on to the next topic. Something that we.
The only thing I was going to say.
A lot of people. Go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say about that is just I really like the idea of Chancellor Palpatine going with Lord Vader instead, and that's the only kind of negative I see with having him be the Separatist lifter. Is I really want to see him go with Lord Vader, because I just feel that thematically works so much better, but we can't always have the things exactly the way we want them. So I don't hate the idea of him going with Separatist. It's just that not my first choice, I think.
No, I can understand that. But I was going to move on to one of our topics, and I was going to let you guys go first because I've been yapping too much. If you guys can predict one character, and they have to be different, so we each come up with, because there's about, 5 Conquest characters a year. one Conquest character for this year that you guys think is going to come out. What do you guys think it'll be?
Well, I thought we were doing not bound in reality.
Oh, not bound in reality. All right, dude. All right, not bound in reality.
I want to talk about things that are just way out there. Because if any of these are right in the next year, we're gonna feel like such chads, and we're like, oh, we got that. We predicted that. We said it. Even though we said it in a podcast when we were talking about things we didn't think were gonna happen.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. What's the prediction?
I'll kind of shift time periods here by quite a bit. Satil Shan. And this one actually isn't that...
Oh, that was mine.
This one isn't that crazy, I feel like. I think it might actually be doable. And I also think you could do Mitra Surik in place of Satil Shan, or both. But the kind of reason I think it's less plausible is because I think they're saving a lot of those Old Republic characters that we don't have to eventually do GLs in the Old Republic. And so on my wish list, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to do it. Revan Reborn, Darth Vitiate, both. Please, CG, please. My wallet is open for Revan Reborn. My wallet is very open for Darth Vitiate. I will sell my body. I'll start selling feet pics in order to get Vitiate day one, if necessary. About that? She's on board.
She'll take the
babe, I swear, it's for Vitiate.
It's for Vitiate. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, Yachter, what are your thoughts on Satil?
Well, obviously, she's going to be a light side Malgus. She's going to bring JKR back into the meta, like JKR lead or just JKR with an Old Republic team, because he has the Old Republic synergies with his kit too. So maybe they could bring Mission and Zalbar back. And if you're asking me like my original character for my prediction, I would probably have to go Dirge. I really want Dirge to be like a bounty hunter lifter. I think maybe only dark side bounty hunter lifter, sort of like how we have light side Ufus, dark side Ufus. Or no, light side Mandos, dark side Mandos. I think we should have light side bounty hunter squad. You know, like maybe Bosk, stuff like that. Dengar,
dark side.
Yeah, dark side, right? I said dark side.
I thought you said light side, but anyways.
Okay. And then you have like light side. You have like Mando, Grief, stuff like that.
Well, the problem is you don't have enough light side bounty hunters really, because Boosh is on Jabba, and then your other two, I think, are the only other two are Grief and Mando. But I like the idea of like Boss can keep Grief and Mando, like that can stay their little team. Boss, Grief, Mando, what other last two you want in there? Usually like Boba Jango or Boba Dengar or whoever the heck you want in there. But like, I would love if Dirge came and lifted up the rest of the bounty hunters that we don't use as much. The Zams, the Cad Banes, the Greedos, even Boba Fett Scion of Django, like, and I think that would be really awesome to have them be a solid team. Or what if he's a solo character? I mean, Dirge is badass enough to be a solo character, and we haven't gotten a new solo character. Well, and that's not true. Bane is in the game, but Bane's not technically a solo character. Insert the clip of Nooch putting in Bane by himself and absolutely failing. But
editor, can you put that in the?
I'm the editor. No,
right here?
I'm not.
Can you put that, please?
I'm not.
And roughly, what's the timestamp right now? 36 minutes and 20 seconds?
I'm the editor. I'm not doing that.
Look at me. I am the captain now. You could, though, if you wanted to be cool. All the cool kids are editing.
Well, it's not as bad as me putting Bane with JMK, because I forgot to empty out the R3 slots. So I had Bane, Sidious, and then I had JMK, Gas, and then I think, like, Darth Vader. And I went into battle with that. But, no, I like that idea, but the thing is, there's two things. One, if they were going to do it now, they would definitely make him a mercenary. And I think that would be, like, because that's their new flashy tag. So he's going to get a mercenary tag. And then the second thing is, what's going to stop people from trying to shove him in?
Nooch, don't do it. Don't do that, Nooch. No. No, Nooch. No. Don't do that, Nooch.
I know that pain. I've done it before.
Hey, I was in chat. I forgot about that.
No, but I would see people just try and shove him in with Balin Skull. So
worst Conquest character.
It would take the creativity away. That's why I think we need to wait a little bit for Dirge. But all right, Yachter, what's your out of the moon GL?
Out of the moon GL, man. I mean, like, we have more and more characters each year. They're starting to become like reality. For a GL, I'll have to get back on you on that. I just thought about Conquest, so I'll let someone else take the floor temporarily.
I guess. All right, go ahead, Matt.
I think that I like your idea of the father going back to the father, the son, and the daughter, and going off of that. I really think it's pretty obvious after season 1 of Ahsoka that we are going to Abeloth, and I think Abeloth being a dark side GL for, I don't even know what you would really throw with her, and I mean she's kind of the embodiment of chaos, and so I think it would be kind of fun to have her just like benefit from having multiple dark side factions in her team, or potentially being like built as a solo GL. Is that crazy?
It is crazy because then like the prerequisites would have to be like 5 in total.
What if the prerequisites
no team to
build other teams? So like,
what would her prerequisites look like?
The father, the son, the daughter,
and assuming that they're not GLs in and of themselves.
They would have to be.
I don't know. So I think the father has to be GL, and I think Abeloth has to be a GL. I think you might be able to get away with the daughter and the son not being GLs. It sounds wrong, I know, but you can't.
The literal entity of light and dark.
You can't have 4 GLs in the Mortis Gods. I feel like that screws you up. CG.
4 GLs to unlock another GL is crazy.
No, there's a new level above GL.
And you think they would get those like tags, or you think like son and daughter get the GL tag, and then like father and Abeloth.
father and mother would get something above GL. It has to, because they are the literal like most powerful people in the universe.
I really don't think we will pretty much ever get something above GLs. I think GLs are the pinnacle that we can have.
In the comics, the father, the son, and the daughter, they all had to team up, and they couldn't kill Abeloth. They couldn't kill her. The 3 of them could not combine kill her. The best they could do was imprison her. That's the best they could do.
Yeah, but also like this game isn't like we talked about this in our last one. It's not about the power of the character in the story. It's about the character in the game, and those are 2 very different things. Otherwise, Slave Leia would be beating Jabba the Hutt. Otherwise, Galactic Legend Leia would get stomped on by Count Dooku solo. Like
this, you're sort of tying into my wish list for Conquest and then GL. So that's perfect because you're tying into Leia and Jabba. So a lot of people are saying that they stopped doing like the pairs and everything. But if you think about it, they sorted in because Jabba, what goes with Jabba? Leia. That's literally a direct connection.
Not
like
necessarily, but yeah, they're kind of
basically
close.
paired. They're both return.
They've spent a single act in a movie together.
Yes, basically.
But it's not to the same degree as the other GLs we've had previously.
No, it isn't. But it's to some degree. Yeah. Which is why it's my theory and my big prediction for a Conquest unit to be Duchess Satine Mandalore, and then we get a marquee General Kenobi, and again we're going out there so I can be crazy.
We already have General Kenobi,
a marquee Death Watch Kenobi from Clone Wars.
Okay.
And then that leads to a GL Crime Syndicate Maul that combines all the crime syndicates. Hutt Cartel, we get a few Pikes, we get a few Crimson Dawn, and all those smugglers, mercenaries. It's the ultimate plug and play for all of them. And he would be the next GL that would go against Ahsoka, and that's mine. So Duchess Satine as a Conquest unit for Mandalore, and then she would be a requirement for GL Maul.
So I don't hate your idea on Maul. I think that's actually a pretty decent idea of having him work with mercenaries and then give some sort of new tag, whether you want to make a tag for each of the crime syndicates of like Pikes and then Black Sun and all that, or if you just want to make like a criminal tag or criminal underworld or whatever you want to call it. I don't really care, CG, do whatever you want. But I like the idea of Maul doing that and kind of working with all those different teams. What I don't know about is Duchess Satine and another Kenobi getting added.
All right, maybe not another Kenobi. Duchess Satine.
What is Duchess Satine's role in the game? Where does she fit?
Support. She would be like a Padme for Bo-Katan. We could do that. Where she'd be an ultimate support.
But who are you? The reason I asked is because like, who are you getting rid of from Bo-Katan Mandalore's team for that?
OG Bo.
I guess
she's pretty freaking good in that team. I don't know.
No, but like you know how Rey and Ben is good, but Rey and Ben and Ezra is even better. Could have sort of like that sort of viability.
Just the reason I asked is because like I feel like the Bo-Katan team is just really dialed in. Like you definitely, I don't feel like you can get rid of Paz in any way. You definitely can't get rid of Grogu in that team, and. You have to have Bo-Katan Mandalore, obviously. And so those last 2 slots, I guess... am I missing somebody? I guess
Bam.
Armor...
Bam.
Oh, Bam. That's what I'm... Yeah. And then Bam, yeah, I don't think you can take Bam out, because she has specific callouts to Bam, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She allows him to do the actual damage, and then like she gives Grogu the scoundrel tag so that he gains damage immunity and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think like those 4 have to stay there, and then the reason Bo-Katan, the original Bo-Katan, is good in there is because of her unique, where she's giving allies max protection, and then whenever they're attacking out of turn, they're recovering health and protection. So it's just making them super
Duchess
tanky.
Does that, but like doubled. Like, it's like 40% protection recovered.
I still feel like Bo-Katan's so new that I don't think she needs a Conquest character to be added to her team. I don't hate the idea of Duchess Satine going in there, and I think that that's certainly plausible. I would almost rather her work with like a version of Kenobi in some way. And I just don't know how you can make that happen, because...
You can't pull Kenobi from the tank from
TNK. Well, I mean, you can in Territory Wars, but other than that, and even then, it's better to run, I think, Mace and GK versus just Mace. So, yeah, I guess I could see that. I don't hate that. I kind of like that.
All right, Yachter, back to you. What's your GL? Come on.
Or just another Conquest character.
Or another Conquest.
Just another character, ship, whatever you want.
We've said Naboo Starfighter before, right?
We already talked about that.
Naboo and Padme's, yep. And then T90.
I want another GR character, because here's the thing. So, Matt, I think you mentioned about having Padme to her own team. I really want that because CG is all about, Imperial Remnant, they can't have the Imperial Trooper tag. They have to be in this spot. Spectre, they can't have the Phoenix tag. They have to be in this spot. So, I really feel like Gidme is the only exception to this. We need like we need a real Gidme team. We need something that pulls back turn meat, like the same exact mechanics as OG Gideon without having to sacrifice OG Gideon. And I know that a lot of people like OG Gideon because they don't have DTMG. They could, free it up. They're using Scout with Iden or whatever, so he's like a free spot. But if we're really going to be consistent with the theming about, you can only have like certain tags here and certain tags here. I also don't like it how it's a 3v3 only thing. Like, I know you could do Gidme in 5v5, but it's a lot less
reliable,
strategic, reliable too, because you don't have that lot. You don't have that lot of members, and also DTMG kind of needs OG Gideon in 5v5.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like half a ship. But I don't know explicitly who would take up that role of being OG Gideon in as like a
Bail
Galactic Republic reskin. I don't know. What are you guys thinking about?
Bail Organa.
Bail Organa could be that. Just kind of being super fast and pulling back the turn meter, and then just getting like a bunch of stacks of courage. I could definitely see that.
Something I am going to lean into before I let you go, Matt, is CG's been really focusing on like having a core 3 for a team. And they really started that with Leia with R2 and Drogon. And then we see with Bail and Skull, Shin Hati, Marak, We see it with Quadme. We see it with Ahsoka, GL Ahsoka with Ezra Bridger Exile, Padawan Sabine Wren.
Ahsoka less
to an extent, but a lot of things they've been focusing on is a core 3 to a team. And so another thing, sort of sidetracking, is 3v3. I think is going to become much more important in the game, as much as we don't want to hear that. Because remember, in Gideon's kit, they did tease and put in 3v3 Galactic challenges. And so we don't know what that's about yet. We haven't heard anything about that yet. But
I think it was also in Starkillers, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I thought something got added to Starkillers. I'll look.
But no, and I think so. If it's Padme and then Bail Organa, I had a theory, which I know it's never gonna happen because of 3v because of JMK. But I believe, and I thought about it, where it would be a Padme, Bail Organa, and then Commander Ahsoka Tano team. Where
I like that idea.
Where I was having specific callouts. And then there would be a granted ability where Kat would get what it would be like, she was my friend, like a call to the Tales of the Jedi. And it would help reduce, like, you know how she wants to get her insta-kill out real fast? It'd be like whenever Padme gets damaged or like mass swarmed or damaged multiple times during an enemy's turn, then Ahsoka's cooldown for her big hit would be reduced by 1 or something.
The problem brilliant, because guess what happens when you attack at a turn on a Padme lineup? Boop. Bonus protection.
Yep.
She's going to be stuck for days.
The problem is that you really can't pull Cat off of JMK.
That's what I was saying.
JMK becomes...
Well, when we add a JMK lifter...
JMK becomes a floppy wet fish when you don't have Cat. Like, JMK is... If you subtract Cat from the game, JMK becomes the worst GL in the game, I think.
I disagree, but I mean, because, like... I was there when Arnold did the day 1 testing and he was soloing C. I know soloing C is like nothing nowadays, but like he would solo SLKR and I want to say 1 more, but I mean he had like a lot of potential back in the day. I know now we have like twice the amount of GLs.
I ran into one I still don't want Grand Arena recently, and it was just easy.
I'm not ready to like let go of my fear of the bearded god of terror, you know.
But no, as we said, everything in here is like a pipe dream. Is it going to happen? Heck no, it's not. Well, but I think it would just be a cool call out to the Tales of the Jedi, where Bail shouts out, because remember, Bail is the reason why Ahsoka joined the rebellion. That's where she started the fulcrum, all that, everything, because he called her after that Inquisitor came and attacked that town that she was working at. So I think it would be really cool if they did a little call out to her. Maybe you put Bail, like I know we said Padme with her own team. Maybe you put Bail in with Commander Ahsoka Tano and the JMK team, which it's probably going to happen. People are probably going to try immediately. Oh, New Galactic Republic. Oh, we're going to put him in with JMK. Maybe there's a call out to Kat right there.
Well, and Bail does have a relationship with Kenobi with Kenobi and Yoda as well. So I think that could be a way to get maybe Grandmaster Yoda into that team.
I think that'd be a great Conquest unit this year. That's my second one. Conquest unit, Bail Organa. I think that'd be a great one for Revenge of the Sith.
Personally, though, I kind of want to see Bail work with Princess Leia, like original Leia.
I'm so tired of original trilogy. I'm sorry.
Real.
I'm gonna say it. I don't care how. I know there's gonna be a lot of people with original trilogy.
I know it's iconic. But
no, it's so. How many rebels do we have in the game? I have to scroll on the PC client in order to see all the rebel characters. Give some respect to the prequels. We haven't gotten true prequel content since what? The Bad Batch and JMK and Lord Vader.
There is almost as many Galactic Republic characters as there are Rebel characters.
Separatist, though. I'm going to say it. Separatist.
Separatist versus Empire is much more favored in the Empire faction.
I don't want any more Rebels. I don't want any more Empire. We already have everybody we could have for them. We're good there.
And then you see Pilot Luke. I would love a Pilot Luke, actually.
Okay, that is the one exception.
I want a Pilot Luke with Luke's X-Wing, and that's like the main ship of the year. It's not a capital ship, but it's like it's like a home run lifter to bring it to like profundity standards.
I would give that as the one exception. Other than that, I would rather get a whole year of sequel content than another year of original trilogy content. I'm gonna say
that's a controversial take. I'm gonna
say it right now. I am so tired of.
All right, I have muted troopers.
No, remove friend.
Because this is straight up heresy. I'm fine if you say you want original or prequel content over original trilogy, but going to say sequel content over original trilogy, that's crazy. You're not muted anymore, by the way.
A whole like episode.
I would
sequels.
But we've gotten original trilogy content like every year. Every single year. I can't remember a year where we didn't get something from the original trilogy.
I think we should continue to get a couple of characters a year from the original trilogy. I'm fine if you want to say the emphasis should be on prequel content for this year, and I think that will probably be the case. Like we talked about in the last episode, I think Revenge of the Sith Anniversary is going to be a lot of the content. Bad Batch we already know is going to be a lot of the content. I think that loops in with prequels, and then we're probably I think we're pretty spot on with we're going to have a little bit of sequel content with the Force Awakens anniversary, and then that fourth one is kind of up in the air as far as what they're going to do. So could be more prequels, could be Old Republic, could be a lot of things as far as what they do in that last slot.
My question that someone brought up in my chat, they are worried because the Bad Batch era is right after Revenge of the Sith. So their concern right now is if they're going to just do like a Conquest unit for Revenge of the Sith and that's it. Because you're basically, what are you going to do? You're going to do the era right after Revenge of the Sith and then you're going to go back, 5 months? Or like 2 years to do Revenge of the Sith in that time period?
I think that's fine. I don't really see anything wrong with
that'd be 2 different eras, right? So like...
Yeah, but I don't see anything wrong with that, and I wouldn't be upset about that at all. Yachter, any different thoughts there?
I would be fine with it. I mean, like
they've
already showcased that they're going to be doing a lot more keys than previous years with the whole episode currency system thing.
Potentially, I have thoughts on that, but that's a future episode.
For 3 months,
they can definitely squeeze that in a lot more. Yeah, if anything, we're going to see more Rebels than last year.
I hope so.
Just to make him upset.
So another character I want to see, kind of transitioning here. Tarful was added to the game and has a Wookiee leadership, but there's too many Wookiees that are used in other places. I think there's a good amount of options you could put for that last Wookiee slot. I'm going to say Gunji is the one I would like the most. And we did see him in Bad Batch, so we could be getting Gunji soon. But even if it's not Gunji, whether it's Kalnaka or whether it's... there's another Wookiee in the Old Republic that you could do if you really wanted to. But I can't remember his name. But if I can't remember his name, it's probably not going to get added. But... or even just like... unnamed like Wookiees, I'm fine with that, like Wookiee soldier or whatever, or Wookiee phalanx.
Like we have Clone Wars Chewbacca. Why don't we just have like Wookiee General or something?
Yeah, like I'm fine with.
I'm pretty sure Wookiee General is the name of the leadership, actually.
I'm fine with a generic too, but just like I would really love Wookiees to have a place, or you could even do like a clone trooper, like the Kashyyyk troopers, the camo ones. You could have one of them be in part of that team or something. I don't know. They kind of turn on the Wookiees immediately after that, but I just really like Wookiees, and I like Tarful's leadership in theory, but you just can't steal Chewie for that team, and so you're stuck with like Vet Smuggler Chewie, and then Clone Wars Chewie, Zalbar, and then you either put Mission in that last slot or Vet Han, because you have the 2 duos basically that you're trying to fit into that team. And so I don't know, just something with the Wookiees I think would be really fun. Wookiees can beat CLS?
I don't know. I don't even have the Zetas on them.
Oh, I thought you were saying they can, and I was like, I didn't know that.
No, because I was like, then like you even with like Legendary Chewbacca, they can't even beat CLS.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But here's the thing: another team that deserves more respect and that has been put to the wayside is the Imperial Trooper team. And that, like, because everything's shutting down Termir loops, all that, everything, like, everything's been shutting that down recently.
You'll tell that's a Magma Trooper Datacron, though.
So, Yachter, don't bring up Datacrons. Anyways, I am predicting for the Bad Batch, tying into that little bit of Bad Batch thing that we're sort of segueing into with Gunji. I'm thinking of a Dr. Hemlock, where he summons a clone X or a clone assassin based on who you're targeting in battle. So it'd be one like you would summon a different one whether you're targeting a tank or a support or an attacker on the other team, and you would summon a clone X, and that'd be in the 6th slot. I know we didn't talk about that before, but
that was actually before we even started.
Yeah,
but the only problem I see with that is like, is CG really gonna code 3 different summons for a marquee character?
This is our Santa wish list, right?
Yeah, Santa's wish list, right?
Yeah, that's true. So why doesn't he have like a different summon based on the character that you target?
Yeah, if he's targeting Hoth Rebel Soldier, it's gonna be a completely different 2,000 word kit than if he was targeting POW or
exactly.
like Jedi Knight Counselor.
This is if CG wasn't the Grinch to us all year round. This is what we're
true.
But I think that is very possible. It would be a creative kit, and I think it could it would help because if there's like a tank heavy team, or like because there's different variations of teams where it's like defensive form versus an offensive team, and so based on what it is, whatever you target, it would be a different way to counter that team and deal with it.
Or even just like an option when you summon them of like, you can summon a offensive clone or a defensive clone, so you can get like a tank or an attacker. Even just 2 options would be kind of cool to be like, what do you need on your team, basically. And I don't know though, would that really tie in with Imperial Troopers?
Technically it would, because they were supposed to be the Imperial version of the Bad Batch. That was his enhanced clones, per se. That's what he says in the show. So and that's why I was thinking of, they would be like a part of the Bad Batch, and it would be a summon because it's tied to Hemlock, who has the Empire tag, because he's working at a secret Imperial facility. And so they would get the Empire tag through him. Like, it would be like the Dr. Aphra thing, where he summons that droid. Like, Yachter brought that up before we started doing our first take, that it would be like an Aphra thing where it's summoned like that.
It's an Aphra mixed with Leia.
I like the idea of a crosshair that fits in Imperial Troopers more.
It just doesn't make sense. Like,
it doesn't make sense for the season 3.
Veers?
It wouldn't make sense for the season 3 version. You're right. But yeah, I like if the leader is an Imperial Trooper, he gains the Imperial Trooper tag for the remaining of battle. If the leader is Bad Batch, he gains benefits for the rest of the battle.
Ultimate Omega Lifter ?
I think he would take Omega's spot really in the Bad Batch. And
I think it's, go ahead.
I really want him to be a Bad Batch lifter. I don't want Crosshair to be the Imperial Trooper lifter. But I think it would be cool if he fit in like both worlds, kind of like Luthen does, where depending on what team he's with, he does some different effects that he does on the team.
I do have a theory on this, though. If Crosshair is getting the Bad Batch tag, so we noticed how Omega wasn't as close to Wrecker and stuff. They started leaning more in the relationship, especially in that final scene when they're facing down with Hemlock, how she really bonded with Crosshair and Hunter. So I could see him having direct synergies with Omega, forcing you to relic up that Omega more. And then the 3v3 team would be Hunter, Crosshair, and then Omega. Because remember, I believe Echo parts ways in Season 3 as well to help with the clones and all that, with Senator Chuchi. So I could see that being like where Crosshair's getting direct synergy, because Omega is the one that really helped Crosshair like calm down, get back, like help bring the brothers back. Because remember when they first came back, all tense, everything, blah, blah, blah. So I could really see that being Crosshair being a lifter for the Bad Batch, but when it's 3v3, there's maybe a call out to Omega to force you to use that Omega with Hunter and that's the 3v3 team. What do you guys think of that?
You think it would be the current version of Omega, or do you just think we get a new version of Omega?
I think it's going to be the current version of Omega, and then I think we would get a newer version, either as a journey event or something, and then, big bold prediction, we get her with a new ship to lift up the Profundity unit, because at the end, spoiler alert, she goes to help the rebellion.
Yeah, except for the fact that Luthen's going to be the lifter for Profundity.
I hate Luthen. He's such an.
I think Luke's X-wing Red 5 is going to be the Profundity lifter. Just because Millennium Falcon's already there, you might as well make it an iconic fleet. You have the Outrider, which is like the only like outlier there, because who knows about that ship? But
that's the one thing that annoys me, though. It annoys me.
Besides the other 10 Mat Masters.
It's like, I would love to see a fleet where it's Home 1, and it's Red 5, it's Han Solo's Millennium Falcon, and then you have Biggs and Wedge. And that's the fleet for Home 1. That would be so cool. That'd be awesome, in my opinion. It would bring back Home 1 to the meta. It would be an interesting kit. It would be so cool to see like all the X-Wings in lineup. Han coming in with a reinforcement. Maybe get something reworked if like Luke's in the lineup or like out in the battle.
You say you want Home 1 in the meta, but you don't. You don't.
I do with those mass assists. Yep.
You don't actually want Home 1 in the meta. You want a new player to be able to get the meta fleet within like a week. Like, you don't want that.
I mean, it would be more. Oh well, here's the thing. It's our pipe dream. CG
Yeah, I mean, like, you get your Executor, and then a week later, Red 5 comes out and it lists Home 1 to be better than Executor. You don't want that. You don't want that reality.
Yeah.
Now, if Red 5 came out and did like a comeuppance level of power to Home 1 and made Home 1 maybe even slightly better than Radis, I think that would be cool, but not anywhere close to Executor.
What's going to stop people from pulling Millennium Falcon? They're going to have to do, but here's the thing. They're going to do the same thing where they're going to be like, if there's no scoundrel or smuggler rebel ship.
No, I think you just give him specific synergies with the other two X-Wings. I think, and then you make it so that way, ideally, your starting lineup is Wedge, Biggs, Luke. And then also, my idea for Pilot Luke is you give him a 3v3 Omicron, and he leads a team with
a ship.
A 3v3 ship Omicron. Oh my god!
I think we get a pilot. We get a pilot Luke, and the pilot Luke leads with Wedge and Biggs, and you make that a really solid 3v3 team.
Yachter, ship Omicrons win.
Not even.
Ship Datacrons win.
See, now he's talking money. See, now Omicrons don't even make any money anymore. You need to monetize that seasonal power, baby.
So
I go ahead.
Let's give some closing thoughts here. If you could write it on a piece of paper and just make it happen, one character gets added to SWGOH, it happens tomorrow, what character are you writing down?
Yachter,
you start. We're starting with you.
All right.
You have the piece of paper?
I'm looking for it.
Oh, let me do that too.
No, you don't have to actually get a piece of paper. That was just to...
Shoot.
Okay. Troopers can't find anything in his room.
It's too poor to afford paper.
You don't actually have to write it down. Yachter?
I have some. You have to go with the story.
That's not how you spell Plagueis, but...
That's
you don't get it because you misspelled it. Sucks for you. Where would Plagueis slot in the game, Yachter? Because we didn't actually talk about Plagueis.
It would be the actual sea lifter. Oh shit.
Plagueis
George?
Actually sea lifter.
Yes.
And then you write Dirge, and now you get two.
And then if it's if Plagueis, if the allied leader is a Sith that is not Sith Eternal, he instantly is defeated from battle. Boom, baby. Now you got it.
I hate all those some super specific callouts.
What if he starts off in stealth, but it's a different animation where he's peeking through an invisible wall, right? And then when he actually takes his first turn, he dispels the wall. He dispels stealth of himself, and he actually participates in battle. So that's my prediction.
All right, Troopers. What about you?
Oh, I'm Matt. Yeah, I got right now.
I'm not writing mine down. Troopers, what is it?
So he did 2, so I'm doing 2.
Oh my! You're breaking my rules.
So my first one is Maul Crime. Wait, is that? Oh.
Does that say subscribe to Map Master?
Yeah, I know, right? That's crazy.
Oh my god. So I would do
up and coming channel, guys.
I would do Maul Crime Syndicate. He would also come with a new Savage as well. So that's my first one.
How many Savages can we make?
Yeah,
No, Maul with a metal arm.
No, come on, man.
If we get Qui-Gon with a poncho and then Qui-Gon
we took it with Maul with the robot legs because it was cool. It was Mando. He had a cool hallway scene. Savage died in one fight. Okay, man, it's not the same thing.
No,
he is not him. Bro thinks he's him, but he is not him.
Qui-Gon was in one movie,
but bro thinks he's Savage, but he's just Savage. Boom, roasted.
Qui-Gon was in one movie. We got a scene from him. He literally has a poncho on. 20 minutes later, we have a different Qui-Gon.
Yeah, Qui-Gon
hey, I hate to break it to you, but your Maul is going to be run with Dryden Voss. That's who he's going to come with.
And no! I get ready to relic Kira, dude. Yep. But don't worry, she's going to be baller with Balin Skull though.
But then my second one would be a Trade Federation Lucrehult led by Newt Gunray.
Oh, a capital ship?
Yep, capital ship. I would say Gas Resolute, but that's been my theory since 2019. So I already have that trademarked.
Wow, you guys didn't put the answers I thought you were gonna put. If I could add any character to SWGOH, it'd be Goku. No.
Okay.
If I could add any...
You know what? No, here's the thing. You know what? Where's my pen?
I'd add Glup Shadow.
I'm going to subtract my answer. Right now.
He's about to write Arnold T101 on that piece of paper.
Not even.
Oh.
You don't even know.
He's about to write Troopers on Break on that piece of paper.
All right, no, I'm gonna add Yachter. Scratch both of mine. Yachter's a large unit. He's gonna take up 5 slots.
Fuck you.
I want Meathead. I want to add Meathead to the game.
Tusken Lifter.
I want to add Crumb.
Jeff, the baby land shark.
This is who I want.
Oh,
epic confrontation. He has like permanent stealth.
All right, I'll give my actual answer.
But does damage.
My actual answer.
Gary from Robot Chicken.
Anakin Reborn.
Okay, that's epic. With Arnold synergy.
If I have to give a second one, since you guys both gave 2, I'll go with Rick, the door technician.
Now that is something I could go.
That's
the Iden lifter right there. And then if JKCK is on the opposite side of the battle, he instantly gains like 200k max health, max protection, 100,000 speed. He gains like a bajillion% offense. He becomes like basically immortal.
So I know we're memeing, but like, how many meme characters are you guys okay with? And this is maybe the last thought.
Bro, I suggested Force Ghost Anakin. Everything's on the table for me.
Okay, I'm going to go through a few meme characters. You guys tell me if you would like it or not like it. Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Darth Jar Jar.
Okay.
Meh.
I think Darth Jar Jar lifting trash Sith would actually be hilarious and kind of fun. This isn't as much of a meme character, but Proxy, and he just literally copies the kit of anybody on the other team, including Galactic Legends.
W.
I like the idea that he has like literally one tag, and it's just like support or whatever. Like no light side, no dark side, no neutral. You know, he's a droid, right?
Yeah.
Literally just droid, support, that's it. And he just gains the abilities, he gains the tags. So like it would be really cool. It would be really weird to do like Proxy versus Gungans, because if he shapeshifts into a Gungan and Jar Jar gains damage immunity, Proxy gains damage immunity, but then they gain damage immunity because it's a Gungan. So it's like that's gonna break the game in like 30,000 different ways.
I would love it.
Don't get me started on Datacrons. But if we could get like a metronome type of character, I know we have Jar Jar that has like the 1% insta kill, and that's fun and all that stuff. But I want something that like I want to be able to do either like a sudden whirlwind from Proxy or like a Clone Wars Chewie for a special. That's it. I want that type of range in my viability. Okay.
If Proxy comes, we better get Juno. That's all I'm saying.
I think
would that have any like synergy with Proxy, or would we just want
Juno's,
Proxy to be like a solo unit?
Just my wife.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Don't tell that the Duchess Satine.
Okay, what about Rick the Door Technician legitimately being added to the game?
I only want... Okay, you know how, like, Padawan Obi-Wan's Omicron is, like, cut all Sith offense by half or whatever, right? As, like, a cheeky Darth Maul thing. I want... If there's any version of Cal Kestis, there's either a benefit or a detriment. You could either make him super weak against Cal Kestis, where, like, Baby Cal, he does, like, 1,000 on, like, a non-crit,
no,
right?
I think...
The support, he does, like, no damage. Make Baby Cal, like, one-shot Rick the Door Technician. That'd be so hilarious if he just hit for, like,
I think the other way is
200,000
funnier.
K against him.
I think the other way is funnier, where if Cal is on the other side, he just gains bazooka stats. Like
no, because can you imagine how pissed off Arnold would be? Like he would like, oh shoot, I brought in JKCK. Because like, what if JKR JKL is like a good counter, but then he accidentally brought JKCK just for the lulz? And
no, I think he goes with Iden. You would Wampa it if it's on defense. So you would never really take it on defense. And Jedi Knight Cal Kestis is never on defense anyways. So I don't think it actually hurts any metas in the game, other than maybe Seer Ufu. But I don't want to give him enough stats where he beats Seer Ufu. But I think that would legitimately be funny. Or even if it's not Rick the Door Technician, if it's just like crowd control trooper or whatever, with like the shield. Because that's what Rick uses. He uses that shield, right? I'm pretty
sure. Like a generic guy.
Yeah, even if it's just like Riot Trooper or whatever. I forget what or Enforcer Trooper or whatever it would be called. And he has a unique that's called Rick the Door Technician. And it's if Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, that's the unique, and that's it. It's like if Jedi Knight Cal Kestis is on the other team, then he gains a bunch of stats. Like I think that would be a really fun way to bring just another trooper for a lifter to Iden without it being Rick, but it is Rick. You know what I mean? Like,
I still just want that ability where either someone gets screwed, like you're gonna put Iden on defense, maybe it stops Wampa, but then like JKR is like the thing. I really want someone to. I really want the initial thing to be like, oh shoot, I brought in Seer with Cal against this team. Oh shoot, I brought in JKCK against this team, and then it just like you get stuck behind him. Like, you cannot kill him, or you make the other side of that where, you know, Baby Cal, he hits for, like, 2k normally. Make him hit for, like, 200,000 damage on, like, a one tap.
Dude, what if it's just...
Rick?
What if it's just he can't die? Like, if Jedi Knight Cal Kestis is on the other team, he can't die.
So we'd have to guarantee 2-shot.
That's
hilarious.
I think that's fine, because then on offense, it doesn't give him enough stats to try to beat something. But you just have to know on defense not to bring Cowling in against
Or maybe the Omicron could just only activate on defense. I don't know how they want to do that.
No. I think the Omicron on him would have to be what helps him counter Wampa. So that way you can put it on defense without having Wampa beat Iden anymore, which I'm okay with, honestly. I don't care if Wampa doesn't beat Iden anymore.
I mean, Wampa can't beat anything anymore, so it's just one ticket off the list, I guess.
Yeah.
I would really rather have Gary from Robot Chicken. I think that would just be so hilarious seeing him on an Empire thing. Like, and then you could like summon his daughter and it'd be like, oh, get my toy, Dad, get my toy.
And it has like Darth Vader synergy too.
Yep. I think that'd be hilarious. He's like dodging bullets and he's grabbing a toy in the battle. He's like his whole team.
Gary here never gets to see his daughter because of people like you. Instant defeat all rebel enemies.
Look at this. Gary's trying to...
All right, I think we've officially gone off the deep end at the end of this. If you watched all the way to the end, go into the comments and put, I want to see Rick the Door Technician X Gary from Robot Chicken fanfiction in SWGOH. And that's how we'll know you made it all the way to the end.
Absolutely will not do that. It has to be something a little bit more, I don't know, concise.
Gary X Rick equals yay. How about that? Is that good enough for you, Yachter?
Fine.
All right. We love you all. Thank you for sticking around and watching our podcast. If you want to support any of the creators here, all of their channels are linked in the description. Troopers, Yachters, you're on my channel, so subscribe. Go support their YouTube members, Patrons, Venmos, whatever they have. I don't know.
Venmo in description.
Okay. My Venmo's not in the description. Anyways, love you all. Bye-bye. Troopers, what the fuck are you talking about with no more Rebels content?
Or we just like beat him up.